My name is Kimberly Sheridan, and I am the lead artist behind the Million Gun Victims March. It is one self-taught artist's way of dealing with rage and exasperation over the worship of guns in our culture and the idea that you can take them anywhere with you, whether it's a school, a hospital, or an art store. I don't think that's what the Second Amendment means. I don't see why guns shouldn't be regulated like everything else. And what got me going was back in April of 2013, when Congress, the Senate, didn't think that even a simple background check bill, months after the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre, was important enough to even bring to the floor. It just didn't register. I started painting that the next night, April 14, 2013. In an all-nighter with my very first picture of a 3-year-old who got shot in a barbershop waiting for his first big boy haircut that never came. His name is James Smith III. And that came because shortly afterward, the New York Times ran an editorial by Yoko Ono who said that between the death of her husband, John Lennon, on December 8, 1980, and the Sandy Hook Elementary School massacre, over 1 million Americans have been killed by gun. And I started asking, well, who are the million? As long as we deal with statistics and numbers and don't see the faces, we won't understand the real loss. So I've made it my business to find out all 1 million since 1980 and then paint as many of their portraits as I possibly can. And not just their faces and not just their names and faces, but what were their dreams?
Parents of murdered sons and daughters are crying out for help, crying out for other people to feel our pain and to know that what we're enduring, and that everyone will come together and act as one. Out of many, one people. No matter what our color is, we are one people.
Even after only not quite 90 portraits, I am already starting to see some very unsettling patterns, some which embarrass me. And a lot of them are young black males. I've done research on this and I have records of Baltimore homicides going back to 2001. And as I read through the pages that say black male, black male, black male, black male, almost half a page until you get maybe black female or white male, and I realized that I've been living through a slow-motion genocide of young black men for many, many years, and I'm only just now starting to be aware of it. And that's where the rage comes from, because I keep asking myself, where have I been? Why couldn't you figure this out sooner? But now that I'm awake, there's no way I'm going back. And I'm going to paint every person I possibly can. Now, this is the Million Gun Victims March. What would a show with 1 million portraits of all Americans coast to coast who've been shot by gun look like? I think that's what it's going to take for America to understand what the real loss is, and that we cannot give in to the gun lobby and its manufacturing of chronic fear. You can't live like that.
I think this project is phenomenal. I think that if it reaches the right people that it should reach, I think that people will be able to see that there's more to these victims. It's just a number, or you get to know the person through these the pictures and how it's depicted. I mean, every picture that I look at, I don't even know these people, but you can see that their real lives. It's not just a face that's on a paper. It really depicts how they really are. And I feel like if it can reach the people who are doing these murders or their families, I think it could change. It could change something. I think that it's remarkable. I feel like this should be something that should be also shared in schools, because the people who are doing the killings, they're young, and I think they weren't reached at some point in time. So if we start early and they get to see these things, it might be deep rooted.
I would like to raise funds to make a calendar with the first 12 gun victims with mothers of murdered sons and daughters. I am looking for other artists to join me, because obviously one person isn't going to do it all. Other artists that have insight into areas that I still don't, in all kinds of mediums, to come join me on this emotional journey to bring 1 billion Americans who people would like to forget into the light so that we don't. What is the pattern all across the country? Is it the same as here? Who among you is waiting for the stories to be told? Is it emotional? Yes, you will feel something of the loss each subject you paint. But your country needs you, the victims need you, and the families need you.
If you can support this project, definitely support it. It's gonna reach you. If you could just see any of these pictures, you would know what I'm talking about. And I would urge to just talk to anybody who's young, who you feel is lost, to just grab hold of them and try to, encourage them to change their life, because things like this, it just doesn't touch one family. It touches a lot of families. It touches neighborhoods. It touches moms, dads, pastors. It's not just one thing. So whatever happens, they really should think about what they're doing, because it really affects a lot of people.